Please be seated. Dear master graduates, dear coaches, mentors, and friends and families, welcome to the master graduation ceremony. This is the second part of the ceremony, so welcome all of you. My speech will be really short, don't worry. I will give enough time for your coaches to say something, but I just want to say that over the past 1.5 years, because of over the last 1.5 years because of the pandemic, I'm very sorry that part of your education has to be conducted online, and a lot of time without face-to-face interaction. And I think we all are extremely happy that the circumstances has changed so that we can have this face-to-face graduation ceremony for which you can actually receive some real-life flowers. So, with that short speech, let us already move on to the actual ceremony part. Are we changing the slide? Okay, so may I invite Noah van der Horst and her coach, Ben Scouten, Professor Ben Scouten, to come forward. Where should they stand?
We'll just improvise.
On the right, over there. On the black cross.
On the black out here.
Here. No. Okay.
Okay, Noah, I think we will hear this a lot of times more. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think we're settled. Noah, good to see you again, and I think we will hear this much more. Noah is special, and I think for several reasons, because Noah represents the new designers that I think we educate here. And one of the special things that the qualities of Noah is that she creates awareness on technology, and that's, I think, what the new designers of our industrial design department should do and are doing. And I coached her during her complete master trajectory, and she worked with me in a project called Smart Technologies Empowering Citizens, where we look at new ways to empower consumers, for instance, from consumer to prosumer, where they actively are involved with the products Philips designs. And within that, the first project that Noah did was Brushy. Actually, it was a crocodile that was a model for how to brush your teeth. And as you know, a crocodile has a lot of teeth. So it took us, it would give the nice environment to teach a child with his mother how to brush the crocodile's teeth, so that the child afterward would be able to brush the teeth of ourselves. That's typically a product where we could speak of empowerment in the way that the child does it him or herself with her parents in a natural environment. And you did a tremendous job, actually, created a doll with all the technology in it. So that to me was very special, and to Philips also, because they asked for more. And actually we are designing new toothbrushes on the work that she created. The next project, and that's the last project, was actually on children and technology and creating awareness in the same project. And you started with one of the most difficult examples, TikTok, and how that can be used and be abused and misused. And I think the best way to empower a child is to put her as soon as possible in the seat of a driving car, or to become a coureur, or what I'm trying to say is that to not keep things away from her, or to guide her into the process. And that's what you did. And also here, you worked with naschoolse opvang. I couldn't find the word in English, but and you were very smart in talking and working with your partners And I always thought it was very special to work with you because you are stronger than me, for instance, in the way you manage your projects. Sometimes you were better than me in the methodology that you provided because sometimes, you knew more than I. So you could keep me sharp. And I really liked to work with you. And I hope you will now in the future keep working in this nice field of children and technology. And I wish you good luck with your career and would like to congratulate you again with your diploma. Thank you very much. This is your diploma. I'd like to hand it out to you. Yeah? Okay. Yeah. On that side. It's good to be here.
Yeah, I give you the flower. Thank you. And then I do the next one. Next, I would like to invite Luz Frohmans to come forward. And the coach is Professor Ben Scouten.
Luz, good to see you again. You look wonderful. Luz is special. But special in a different way, I think. And why? I think she likes to change the discipline of design a bit, and she's always on the edge. And design is changing, and I think the word she likes to use is humanistic design, or the way in which people are represented. And the products and services nowadays go beyond functionality. We have seen this already through experience design, for instance, but in games and in numerous apps. But now with the changing world, we see another dimension added, and it has futures implied or awareness implied. Products and services express the way we want to live. And you can see this, for instance, in the Dutch Design Week, in which you had a beautiful project, which we're now talking about, but also other products that express the meaning, the values that we want to represent in our future society. And it takes it a little bit away from the functionality, but also reflects on the way we want to live. So the role of the designer will also change with that. And we need a new designer. And Luz is such a designer of the future, a mix of a philosopher and a designer, in fact, but in touch with reality. You can call her an engineer, especially now that she has her diploma, of course. Her first project of her graduation year was inspired by data and Cambridge Analytica. In a product, she provokes us all to think about the future and to come up with an opinion, alternatives on who owns the data. And in her last project, she goes a little bit further, where she combines speculative design with post-anthropocentric philosophy and human enhancement technology. And I was wondering if I would use this task, but this word, but I will do it because she thinks that there is an alternative to the dominant philosophies of the present. It acknowledges the damaging forces of humans and environments while recognizing that the way forward is to work towards preferable futures in which humans recognize and develop relationship with other species. And that's what you did. And she worked at it to a technology which is called human enhancement technologies. And inspired by Donna Haraway in a book, Staying with the Trouble, she invents and imagines new ways of living and dying in this multi-species world by using speculative fabulation, speculative feminism, and science fiction. So she designed a beautiful add-on, actually. It looks like wings, but it's gills, in fact, and you can see it here, that would give us the possibility to live in the water and be part of the ecosystem. Wow. I still have to try it, and I saw the movie. I was on holidays in the Dutch design during the Dutch Design Weeks, but I thought you did a terrific job. Success with your further career. I know you will shape the new designer of the future furthermore. Thank you very much.
Oh, ik moet hem bij je houden.
Ja, precies. Dit is van
nou, dat is ook zo. Thank you.
Next, I would like to invite Bas Pleiner and his coach, Professor Regina Bernhardt, to come forward. Please take your place.
Bas, first of all, my sincerest congratulations. For a master's study, I think you have been doing not only well, but exceedingly well. You have made an incredible development over the last 2 years, and I'm really proud that I was allowed to be your mentor. For me, you represent a very different type of designer that I think we urgently need in the future. Because, as we might all know, there is this digital world. And the majority among us, we still might feel there is the real world and there is the digital world. Unfortunately, they are getting closer together because every time we go to the dentist, to the doctor, our health records, everything about the human is stored in the digital world. And they become interconnected. Even sometimes we say now that humans have become a digital twin that is represented there. And that's what you have been working on in the last 2 years. I remember the first project you did, which was very different, but it was the idea that this digital world, we cannot touch it very well, so you tried to bring things from the digital world into the real world. And it was tangible. It was called Battle Grid, and it got published in a scientific conference. So it was your first scientific contribution. I think we all were very proud about that. And you continued. You were investigating the smart home and how people try to interact with it. And then in your master, you thought about, well, why can't we make the virtual world a better place? And this virtual world should be something we can also touch. And I remember it was COVID, and we tried to work with people doing new types of materials with kind of fibers that we wanted to touch, and it was impossible to realize that. But you didn't give up. You were strongly trying to make it work. And in the end, you came up with a way that everyone can feel in the virtual world warm and cold. We can feel it now in a very, very cheap solution. It's incredible. And of course, we're going to publish that. The lesson I learned is that for the future, I think knowing about technology is a good thing. I do not say no worries, everyone has to be a perfect programmer. But I think, Bas, being one and knowing about programming helped you a lot in what you have been accomplishing. I hope that you enjoyed working with me as much as you did working with you. And I know you're taking a year off, kind of, but you know, anytime your heart might beat back in working in science, you know where to find me. Congratulations.
like to invite Joris Lanen to come forward. And unfortunately, Rans has become ill, and but he has invited Lu Yuan, whom you also know really well. Yeah, so Dr. Lu Yuan, could you come forward?
Now, dear Joris, congratulations. We know each other already from your first year in the bachelor. Rens cannot be here, but I will be Rens, and I receive a speech from him, and I will try to read as good as I can. Dear Joris, the start of collaboration already dates back a few years. Not all of you might know, but the board members of Lucid, the Study Association of Industrial Design, sometimes organize events for former board members of a specific position to get advice. It happened to be that Joris and I, not me, but Rens, both had the position of Commissioner of Internal Affairs at Lucid and got to know each other at one of this event, which is a very important event to get advisory gathering, advice from alumni, early graduates. At the bar, Lucy Bar, we talk about coaching. A few months later, I got an email from you and asking whether I was interested to be your mentor. This is a good moment to remind Lucid, also from me and Rens, to organize such important events regularly and soon again. Fast forward, we started working together during your master research project. The topics you were then already interested in were self-development, reflection, and coaching through digital tools. For this research project, you designed a job crafting tool for employees to reflect on their current job and adjust if necessary. In this project, you already conducted an independent study with a prototype platform that you create yourself. This is actually the foundation of your final master project, where you continued with this idea and to support and coach people through digital tools. And then you also break free from the research focus because you want to really turn that into an innovation, turn that into a service, and you want to become an entrepreneur with this project. And that's what you did. You did this project almost like you're running your own company. So you designed a platform for employees, and you develop a full working application yourself, and also did an extensive field study. And you actually got the company Next Learning Valley to collaborate with and also support you to release this application. So very, very impressive that during the project you came across as a very motivated, focused, and eager to realize your idea. You work independently as a coach, so Rens. He realized that he hardly need to push you at all, so he was there just like a sounding board. I rephrased his sentence. So you were very capable of doing that yourself. Because Rens was very impressed with your skills and attitude, and over the course of the project, he informed his friend, Joachim, which is a friend of a lot of us, one of our former students, owner of the Eindhoven-based design company, Less or More, that you might be a suitable candidate for them. Joachim was immediately reacting to that email, saying that, oh, Joris is on our radar. I think we could really collaborate together after his graduation. Rens wrote, pause, look impressed. I'm very impressed. I understand that you're working now for Less or More, and even reserve 1 day a week to bring the application you created further so that more companies and employees can benefit from that. So we look great forward to your development as an entrepreneur, as a great designer, and wish you great, great luck. Congratulations to your degree. And he said, apologize not being here, but you know I wish you all the best. Congratulations.
to invite Fabiana Kranz and her coach Yaliang Zhuang to come forward.
Hi, Fabiana. Nice to see you again. You look good. Wonderful. Before I deliver this speech to the audience, I would like to ask you to go into a short experiences, to think about, to reflect on what happened in the past 20 months. Please close your eyes if you want to participate. Please close your eyes and think about what are you doing, what were you doing last year, October, Friday, 2020. I think many of you might do something similar to what I did. I stick on the screen for all the times, making a lot of meetings with the students, colleagues. And maybe you also feel a bit stressed, a bit difficulty, isolated, alone, right? So, thank you very much for your participation. You can open your eyes right now. So this is actually what the students experiences in the past year, especially during the final master project. So you all do a very good job. Congratulations. What I want you to experience is that experiences this bad memory again is because Fabiana also did that. He also encountered a lot of stress. But on top of that, she also encountered a very huge crisis. 5 months before your defense, your coach was ill, and he was not able to continue to work with you. So, what happened? Did Fabiana solve the problem? Yes, she did it very quickly. She reached out to 2 or 3 professors to discuss whether you can find a new coach. And we have a very good discussion that time. And we find a good match between you and me. So we start our collaboration with your very good projects. It's an information decoration or information display that Fabiana used the interactivity materiality. It's a very new technology that was part of invented in our university. So she wants to try out how can we make this technology be available to everyone, to many people's everyday life. So she tried to she tried to use all the competence and capabilities she learned from our university, especially about business and entrepreneurship. You do a very good job to find a very niche marketing and reach out to several very key persons in the industry. So your project is also well done, and you also identify several marketing research. So you are planning to continue with this product with part of your business or design studio, I can say that. So I think it's very possible to do that and become a successful product in the future. And I also know that you are also looking for part-time jobs that you can learn some new design knowledge and maybe expand your network and also leverage you with your design studio. I wish you all the best. You can do both very well. In the end, I would like to end it with a message from my colleague, your original coach. So he said, Gefeliciteerd, ook van Hang van Essen. Congratulations.
Next, I would like to invite Benita Headhouse. And again, the coach is Dr. Yaliang Zhuang. Please.
Hey, Benty. You look wonderful today. And especially, I know you have a better job compared to the one you approached before the summer. Congratulations. I'm very happy to have our mentorship in the past 2 years. Maybe I can extend the time a bit further to the 5 years ago. This is a very special moment for both of us. We had a very fresh start. I came from Taiwan, and you just started your bachelor here. So I'm very happy to coach you in your first design project. From there, I know that you are very interested to use the Disney design methods, or I can say creativity, and also the storytelling to inspire your design and make the design concept interesting and innovative. So this is what she is also very interested about the robotics. She did several projects to think about how can we bring robotics to everyday life. So during your final bachelor projects, you try out different ways. You start from kitchen. How can we make everyone want to make a good dish to be much easier and make the dish much good. Later on, you try out, maybe you can find another niche applications. So you look around our students and also went to innovation space and find out, maybe prototyping, the guys, they need a lot of prototyping, like youths, like our colleagues, like our students in Atlas, or like you. So in the end, you take these ideas and move forward to make this prototype. It's called Tara, that can help you make the prototype quick, easy, and much accurate. So I see a lot of possibilities and potentials on that. And finally, I would like to encourage you to continue with the Disney ideas you have in your mind in the beginning. There can be a lot of resources you can use in everyday life and also especially for your projects. Like you did, right? You use the WALL-E as an inspirational source and make it product in the end. Congratulations, and I wish you all the best for your career. So this is your...
Next, I would like to invite Anik Adams to come forward, and her coach, Professor Barry Ahern.
Thank you. Hello, Anik. Good to see you. We've seen each other a lot online, so it's very good to see you live now. Yeah, also my collaboration with you started unexpected, also unplanned, and that was for the same reason like Fabian. So Harm van Essen, our colleague, became seriously ill just at the start, so then you have to improvise. And I had to take over a number of tasks from Harm, and one of them was the coaching of you. And so of course we first had a chat to see if it would match, and yeah, it matched. So, but then normally you are involved for about a year. So in M12 you give a handshake, so you make the match, and then yeah, you are involved in the research project and in the M21 project. So now it's really the last semester. So that is a kind of a pressure cooker to get to know each other. And yeah, so then we talked, and some things stayed in my head. So one of them was service design. And so I know about service design. You probably also know about it. So what a service is. but there are some typical characteristics. So service designers make things, but also they do it in a special context. So very much attention to the customer in this case, because it's a service that you have to pay for, but also other stakeholders that are involved. And that's what you did. You actually already had an internship or a project at Essence. That's it's a design agency. There's a lot of service design. And you did very well there. So we started with the final master proposal, and there needed to be some things tweaked on that. And so we did it together, and you had a full start, and you did very well. So normally, we think about service like, for instance, if you have a service around coffee, you get the coffee cups and things like that. There are many other services. And the area that you choose to work on is designing for social complex situations or issues. So in this case, more particularly, you focused on children who are in very complex divorce situations. So the parents are really fighting, and the children are in the middle. And they still need help, but there are waiting lists, as we all know. So if you have to wait for a couple of months, and you are a child, and you have lots of problems with your emotions, of dealing with your parents and the situation, there needs to be some help. So there are some months that need to be bridged. And that was the topic that you worked on. And to make a very long story short, because you did a lot of things, is in the end you designed a booklet, a hybrid booklet. So the booklet, the children can already start working with the booklet. So there are questions in the booklet, there are exercises. And in your case, what was very special, the booklet was enhanced, so with augmented reality. So that means that the story that the children followed, that was Tom the Pirate, who was actually on a world trip with his parents. But so this augmented reality really helped to get into the story, to understand, and to be able to easier answer the questions. And that was the idea about it. And also to deal with your emotions. In the end, what you try to do is to bridge that gap so that the problems that children might have, the emotion that get worse. That was one thing. And the other thing, then the moment that they really can get help, that they make a head start, so they can really immediately start with the real professional help. So it was a great project, and you did well. And Essence was proud of you because you represented that organization, and actually had many clients. That's one of the problems. Maybe you always try to, not please is not the right word, but to take into account all the people that are involved in such a project, and in this case, such a complex situation, and there are many. Of course, the children are the most important, but due to ethical issues, you were not allowed to directly interact with these children. And you can imagine the moment that you start talking about your ideas, about your concepts, and the children are in the middle of these problems, it can get worse. So we do not allow nowadays students to do that. So you had to fall back on other people that play a role there. For instance, specialists in childcare organizations, but that enabled you to really get a nice profile of the children and use that profile in an effective design. And so that was very well done. A personal thing. So like I said, we have to get to know each other very quickly. Service design, the involvement of end users. But I really got to know you as an empathic designer. So somebody who really is able to empathize with the target group. So that is a very strong characteristic, I think, of you. And then, of course, I didn't tell that yet, but next to the project, you also helped me as a teaching assistant in one of the courses that I teach together with Harm van Essen. And to be honest, so without Harm, I could not do it. So I was so happy that you were there. And in the end, I can really say that without you, I would not have managed the 60 students that we have there. So thanks for that. But there also, I learned to know you as somebody who really can organize very well. And not only taking my needs into account as a teacher to support, but also that of the students. So you really acted very proactively. So the moment that you picked up signals, you shared them with me, and we could improve the course. So that's another characteristic that I very much appreciate about you. That's your professional conduct. And that you show that in your project, but also in working as a teaching assistant. So Again, thank you for that. Congratulations with a fantastic project. This morning I heard, because I checked, do you have already a job? I was sure about that, but to check whether or not you were at Essence, but you work now with a Mozartex group. It's also, I think it's about services, or not? Yeah? Okay, we're not going to share that here, the discussion. But yeah, so that is great to hear. So you start Monday, so congratulations with that. Okay, what remains then is to give you the diploma. Yeah?
And now we have a film to give you some impression of the project's ID. Yeah. Yeah, after that short film, let's continue the second half. May I invite Evie Vanden Mankov and her coach, Dr. Joop Frans, to come forward.
Hi. Yesterday evening, I wrote a speech. This afternoon, I printed the speech, but that was not the one I wrote, actually. So I'm going to improvise a bit. Might make it better or worse, we'll have to see. I remember when you contacted me to see if I could coach you for this project. You came to me very frustrated. You were just been told to, or asked to redo the M2 one semester, and well, you didn't like that, understandably. I did wonder a little bit about why you would then come to me if you did not want to be frustrated anymore, but well, perhaps I did a better job than I, or you have secretly hidden a lot of frustration, possibly. I did, of course, remember you from a course before, but we hadn't met that extensively. And also during that course, it was mainly online because halfway that course, COVID-19 hit. What I did remember was your visualization skills that really drew the coursework that you did together with the group to a very different level. And also during that first meeting, you showed some of the drawings that create part of your identity as a designer, and really appreciated that. During our coach meetings, you made excellent use of that skill. I think that's truly one of your unique strengths, the way you can visually express yourself, and I hope that for the sake of efficiency, you will never sacrifice that for the sake of efficiency. I also appreciated that you had always a very structured approach, and that you were so kind as to always repeat what we had said the week previously, because I have a terrible memory, and after I asked for it, you did that. So thank you for that. I think that our coach meetings were quite a bit more effective because of your reminding me what my opinion the previous week had been. You created a physical photo browsing device, and you split your project in two. First, you created a theory-infused part, and then you went and tried to make it, or made it, commercially viable. And you had high aspirations. You said, well, I really want to have some proper scientists to advise me, and some proper commercial experts to advise me in the second part. And I was a little bit skeptical, I'll admit, now, not then, of course, that in you being successful in trying to contact these people and then convince them to work with you, because I know how busy academics can be and how busy people in practice can be. But you were very successful in finding your academic sounding board in the person of Elise van der Hoven and I had the abbreviation earlier, but I printed the wrong document, from Australia, Sydney, Australia, and William Odom from SFU in Canada. And they went with you for the complete project, giving you lots of important feedback, but also being firmly impressed by what you did in your design process. And then you also went to Philips to ask if they could help you. And, well, again, I was a little bit skeptical, but also there, success. You worked with Sjoerd Mentink. Thank you. And also that I had written down. And he gave you a lot of insights also from a commercial perspective, and was very impressed with you on your work. You then went forward, created a physical prototype, and evaluated it, destroying really beautiful oak tables in the process. Never knew you were appreciative of that style of furniture, right? And then you graduated, showing your work in beautiful drawings and in a great presentation. And I also think, if I remember your reflections, that you greatly grew as a designer during that process, becoming a designer with a huge tool set and still having that unique drawing visualization skill. And I hope, I repeat, that you will keep treasuring that. It's one of your unique qualities, and I would like to see more students work like that. We'll be working on that. It was very unfortunate that the TEI community did not quite see that way, but you know, their loss. Evie, congratulations.
Thank you. Next, I would like to invite Nick Voskol and his coach, again, you friends, Dr. You friends.
Thank you. Nick, yesterday evening I wrote a speech for you. Unfortunately, I printed the wrong one. So I'm going to freestyle this. And it might be for the good or for the worse. You never know. You contacted me a while back. And I remember that that you were, well, unlike many students, were not interviewing me to see if I would be the coach for you. You really wanted to show off your work and see if I'd be interested in coaching you. And of course I was, because when I see good work, that piques my interest. I'm a sucker for good work, so I agreed to coach you. Later I also heard from Christina that she really recommended you and that I should really say yes, but that was way after I had already committed to coaching you. But it's good to know that you came warmly recommended, right? You first did your M12 research project with me, and there you set out to learn more about designing for interaction. And even when you said that this whole research thing was not really your cup of tea, I think you did a good job. You persevered, pushed through, and really made a wonderful series of light interfaces that created different interaction styles that you then experimentally compared to each other. At some point, when you sort of went under the radar for a week or so, I was a wee bit worried, but then you materialized with a report back again, and I realized that I shouldn't have worried. It was good. Then you started with your design project, your your graduation project. Here, I should have written this down. Well, I did. And you focused on food preparation, and I don't think that I can say much about that as it was an NDA project, but you convinced the people from Arçelik, which is actually a really big company that most of us don't know. It's the third player in the appliance sector worldwide. And you convinced them that you would be the right person to work with them on a new project around food preparation in their Amsterdam design lab. You worked with Tony Weisselbraun, and well, even when I can't say much about the project itself, it was about fermentation, says the slide, so I guess I can say that much. He was properly impressed. He liked what you did, and that the same went for me. What I really appreciated in how you approached this is that you, well, you have had a more classical design training before you came with us, and you really brought forward this craftsmanship of that classic industrial design, including how to produce things and how to give shape to things in an elegant and aesthetical way, and combined it with maybe more the interaction side of things. There was a accompanying app and things like that, and that all worked quite nicely. You have a way with design that is really enviable. You can effortlessly make something look elegant and beautiful, and you have a knack for the little mechanisms that sit inside. And even when you design these things, even when you say, well, this is what's having my focus and this not so much, so I'll just sketch it out a little bit, you know what you're talking about. And that became very clear also during our discussions during the assessment, right? I think you did a very good job. I think you're a unique hybrid between classical industrial design and the industrial design Eindhoven style, and I'd like to congratulate you with your graduation.
Next, I would like to invite Rick Baus and his coach, Dr. Danica Kaya, to come forward. Please.
Hi, Erik. Nice to see you again and in person. I mean, we have met in person when we first talked about me becoming your mentor. But then there was this whole long time where we only spoke to each other through a computer screen. But yeah, I really remember these talks well, and they were also always very inspiring, and I learned a lot from you. So I want to say a little bit more, about your background. So you came to our master program, I think, from University of Applied Sciences in Zwolle. In Den Bosch, sorry. In Den Bosch. And then, you came to me for your master M12 project. And in that project, you focused on developing and evaluating a genderless voice assistant. And I think that through your whole master, while I was your coach, you have really developed and shown yourself as a very passionate design ambassador for the inclusion of stigmatized groups and in design, and with a specific focus on the inclusion of non-binary genders. And this language is also something that I learned from Rick, I guess. So I've become a bit more comfortable in this area, but still, at some point, Rick taught me about the differences between sex and gender, and that is very important, but not so well known. And at some point, he also told me that there are about 70 different genders, but that's not like a definite number, but like you see the scale or their size, where I thought, okay, 2, maybe 3. Yes, so you really opened up this world for me, which was really valuable, and I really appreciate that. Then in your master project, your final master project, you broadened out from designing something yourself to thinking about how can students in the industrial design program design with a more inclusive approach to gender. And to do that, you designed this gender and design platform. It offers students like an accessible place where they can start thinking about as well as implementing gender inclusivity in their design processes. Your process didn't always go smoothly. So I think a trap you sometimes fell into was that you wanted to do too much, too well. And that resulted sometimes in that you kept pushing design decisions ahead of you. And I think this also shows your sensitivity. So we talked about this a lot. You didn't want to step on the toes of people with different gender identities, and making categories was always going to do that. So this was a friction that was there all the time. But you managed to round off and to make these choices and finally get your degree. So really good. And also I think that what also is a strength of this is that whatever you design is in each detail thought through thoroughly. As I said, so I learned a lot from you on this topic of gender inclusion. I hope to take that with me in coaching other students and projects, and I try to do this. I wish you all the best for the future and in pursuing your ambition to make the world a more inclusive place. Okay.
Next, I would like to invite Jeanette Dion to come forward. And also her coach, Dr. Lenny Kakaya.
Hey, Jeanne. It's also really good to see you again. And seeing you here together also made me remember that throughout this period when we were all sitting behind our screens, I think you and Rick also developed support for each other. So thank you for helping me coach you guys. I think that was very helpful. Jeanne also joined us from a University of Applied Sciences background, from the Fontys here in Eindhoven. In Venlo, okay. Not good with my geography, sorry about that. During your master program, you developed a really strong sense of the designer you wanted to be. And this was not directly the type of designer that our program routinely delivers. So there you were sort of pushing the boundaries and encountering the edges of the design program. I will say more about that. So after first doing a project about energy demand of future home security systems, which had close relations with my personal research interests, and is a project that I still often mention in any kinds of conversation about this topic of energy demand in home, was a great project. In your final master project, you indicated that you wanted to take a different direction, and that you wanted to address major societal issues of inequality and environmental deprivation. Maybe you said it like, I don't know if you said it like this, but I interpreted it as you didn't want to design things for people who already had it all. But you wanted to focus on groups of people lacking the means to meet even their basic needs. So this is how you eventually ended up with a focus on supporting sleep quality of refugees. This resulted in your design, Lumio. But the process, there were a lot of stumbles in the process. Also because you were adamant about evaluating your design with the actual target group. So we are talking about vulnerable people here. And initially your ethics approval was declined, but you didn't give up. So I really admire that in you, that you kept continuing, and Jeanne found experts herself who were able to support her on the aspects that I wasn't an expert on, and in the end she did evaluate her design with this vulnerable group in an ethically sound and well-designed way. And if that wasn't enough, you also designed an object that was fully circular. And circular design is not something that is currently offered in the educational program in Eindhoven. So also there, you really, invented the wheel. You found your own methods, your own experts, and your own background information. So I'm really impressed with what you did, and all this in the circumstances of COVID. So I think you are a very impressive. You have a very impressive skill set now as a designer, and also, so I hope. And I haven't heard. I'm curious to hear how it's going, where you are going. But I trust that these qualities will bring you far in life, and I wish you all the best. Congratulations.
Next, I would like to invite Lisa Stavenauter and her coach, Dr. Lu Yuan, to come forward.
Dear Lisa, congratulations. It is so nice to recognize you are actually taller than me, because normally in front of the screen you don't see that anymore. Our collaboration goes back, centuries back. I remember I met you the first time in Youth Learning Line, New Product Development and Marketing. Together with your teammate and also the Ontmoet and Headhouse, you developed Stu Mobile, a student driving services to help older adults to travel without hurdle. Since then, you have been more or less stayed within the ring of trust around me. I have met you at your FPP and also in your almost entire master. You had a very clear vision, what kind of designer you want to become. You're really interested in strategic design, but you saved a special spot for your final master project. That is, you want to design something for young adults, adolescents with ADHD in Dutch. I learned a great deal about this symptom related to ADHD. I understand that this, shall I call it a disease or not? No.
This
People, this gift. So there's a lot of instruments, support from the medical field and also from psychologists to help children with ADHD. Because if it's recognized early, there's a lot of support. But when you get older, when you're diagnosed at a later stage, there's very limited support because people expect that you will manage everything yourself. And that's where the challenge from, especially for those who are diagnosed at a very late stage. And Lisa, you actually want to focus on promoting self-management, and you recognize greatly to support someone to self-manage that you need to tackle from two perspectives. One is to support this person internally, intrinsically, to build resilience, that he and she or they are able to deal with this crisis happened, to deal with a gift. But the social surrounding environment is also important, so Lisa includes that into her design concept as well. So she believes breaking the stigma, allowing the environment, social environment, to empathize with the people living with ADHD will greatly support the people to manage their daily life. So you had to work with a lot of experts, professionals, psychologists, and people living with ADHD, and yourself in this entire project. And I really have to say, very well done. And I would like to mention our collaboration a little bit. So it is very interesting. I realized after we worked so long, I lost Lisa in our conversation. Normally we have half an hour meeting, to brief each other. Lisa brings a question, but I think I roughly catch Lisa's attention for 15 minutes. And after that, I don't know where she is. I don't think she knows where I was. So we talk about this. How do we change this? And Lisa, you turned the meeting around by making sure that in the meeting you're in control. You create the agenda and deliverables, and you come back every time to talk about the agreement and the plan you had. And that helps you to really keep me engaged with you and keep yourself motivated. I hope this experience, this growth you have made, and really give you great insight on how you can work and collaborate with future in future environment with your colleagues together. I'm also very, very proud that you immediately found the job. As a strategic designer at Shaoxing. Yes. Is a good way to say it? Okay. It is actually a design consultancy firm to support teenagers, young children, kids, young adults, to designing for healthy and active lifestyle to them. So I think, wow, this is really match your expertise and your interest. And you're really, really going to create societal impact like we wish in our program. So I wish you great success, and please keep in touch. I think it will be great to have you coming back to us to share your working experience and how you are working as a designer in the society. Congratulations to your family and friends.
Yeah. Next, I would like to invite Wheeler and Techeler. Again, with the coach, Dr. Lu Yuan. Please come forward.
Dear Fiela, congratulations to your master degree. We met just before Corona started. You were expressing interest to have exchange semester in your master, but also you were interested to work with people who are vulnerable. So you're really motivated to work with me because my research really related to designing healthy, active lifestyle for the vulnerable people. Then we had lockdown. Exchange semester in another country becomes not feasible, so you have to change your plan. And I'm very glad we managed to do that already from the beginning, find a very interesting project and context you can work with. The university just had a kickoff with collaboration with HeHeZ. I think that was last Wednesday afternoon. And with a group of people that you worked with in your project. And you actually did your research project, graduation project at HeHeZ and the care center Reine van Akkel. You focus on people living with psychiatric stress. So for people living with that stress, it is very often that they tend to hurt themselves and also hurt others. So sometimes they have to stay in an institution and to get treatment. And very often they are going back to home. And the big question is, when are they coming back? When they come back, it means a lot of loss for the family, friends, for the society. So prevention is really the key. And that's where Fiela comes in. So she created a chatbot-based mood tracking app based on self-reporting data and also a smartwatch data about physical activity of these people. And in order to give these people self-awareness about their mental conditions and to ask for help whenever is necessary. As you can see, during Corona time, to work on a project like this is very difficult. So initially, a lot of experts were consulted, and I was very glad almost at the end of the project, you were able to organize workshops also with the clients at Reine van Akkel. Probably a lot of us, if you're a little bit knowing about stress management, there are a lot of applications available on the market for self-management, self-tracking. But those products or services may not be applicable immediately in this context. So Fiela also did a lot of benchmark study, discussed with people who are using that and trying to really find out what is the best way to present this technology to the targeted user group. You like to work with people because you get energy, you get motivated, but you soon realize, hey, I'm not probably the designer who can make things completely working, but I do need technological skills to communicate my concepts. And I would like to say thanks to the families and friends. Fiela was managed to collect all the skills she needs to prototype, to visualize, to communicate the concepts that she needs to make. Writing report is another challenge. I hope now it is over. We have talked so much about writing report, but you actually turned it around. Writing report was not an easy thing, and also writing a scientific report. But in this case, I would like to thank to Lisa as well, because both of you kind of team up together, helping each other, removing my coaching load. And the final report was really, really well written. I think the assessor and the examination panel recognized that. So all the capability you have developed will definitely help you to find a suitable job. Going abroad, I think, is still in your mind. And trust me, when you look at me, international experience definitely enrich everybody's skills and experience. And I would really encourage you and hope you have the chance to do it, not only traveling as a leisure time, but also to experience that in your future career. Thank you very much for filling up all the fun moments of our online meeting, and thanks for the cookbook. I'm still practicing my cooking with your advice. And congratulations to you and your family. Congratulations.
Next, I would like to invite Milu Beards to come forward, and her coach, again, Dr. Lu Yuan.
Now, dear Milu, congratulations to your master's degree. You asked me to become your graduation coach because of my business design background, which is very relevant to your self-defined learning goals and the career path that you want to continue. And let's talk about your final master project and also your M2 one semester. And Corona strikes. You want to become a strategic designer, you want to become a user experience designer, and you really want to do an internship in a company. How do you do the internship? Which company to go? So you start exploration, and everything has to be online, and you have to convince the company to allow you to work at home behind the screen as an internship and still contribute to the business process in the company. I'm very glad you convinced the colleagues at Philips Design, and you start to work with them and to acquire the necessary contact and trying to define your final master project as well there. And it is an NDA project, so you probably don't see much on the screen, and I can read it aloud. The project is about integrating two related processes of value proposition creation at Philips. Sounds very abstract, I think. Please stay in that way as well, because it's NDA. What I want to talk about is a way of working. This is quite a different industrial design project. So we're not talking about concrete products or services that a normal consumer will experience. We're talking about business process that organization will use to create their own proposition to their consumers, to their customers. I think most of our conversation was there to discuss, hey, how should industrial designers to work in that context? What kind of skills and attitude and knowledge you have acquired here in our faculty can be applicable there. You soon realize, hey, I really need to be service-minded, because I'm talking about introducing new processes in existing organization where people are already used to the way of working. So I really need to work with them, understanding their context of working, and then trying to bring small changes, and which is affordable. You work closely with the designers and also engineers and marketing department, and you became the Miro Queen at Philips Design. So probably a lot of you were the Miro King in your master project because of Corona. And you create interactive process blueprint, which is on the screen, completely working and supporting the workshop, supporting the designers to facilitate the sessions with non-designers. And that was really, really well done. And they asked you, Philips Design basically asked you to stay for a while to continue implementing this. I think that was happened. So I'm very glad for that. And like for all other students, Corona wasn't easy. And for Milo, it was also very challenging, also your personal conditions, personal circumstances. But you were a very resilient person. That's what I see. And you probably, your friends and family probably tell you the same. You had a very unfamiliar topic, and there's a lot of challenge because the field of application is not, you're not expert there. You have to learn that. And you are not a great report writer. I have to say that again. And sometimes literature review, reading scientific paper, That's not our biggest strength of design students. We're improving, definitely. But in Chinese, we say a very good tromo, you don't need to hit very hard. And this is the case here. Just one small reminder. Okay, maybe a better review could be done next week, a better literature review. There is a problem with that chapter next week. Research protocol was not really up to standard. Everything was done. So I'm sure Philips recognized that quality, and also a sense, your current employer. I just Googled. I was afraid I was not up to date. So you have a job right now. You work as a junior service designer at Asense. So I think you have all the capability to be there. So please keep in touch. We hope to hear from you and how your experience, your skills and knowledge, attitude can contribute to that field. I wish you all the best for your future, and congratulations to your family and friends.
As Dean of Faculty of Industrial Design, I would like to congratulate all of you. Thank you for your resilience and resourcefulness during this very difficult time that we will never forget. I will never forget these 18 months. But now that you have finally gotten your diploma and obtaining your degree, I need to read you the rights and obligations. So, the scientific degree of master involves duties as well as rights. As a holder of this degree, you are committed to standards of scientific integrity, trustworthiness, intellectual honesty, openness, independence, and social responsibility. These standards are described in more detail in the Netherlands Code of Conduct for Research Integrity and in the Eindhoven Code based on it. You also have duties towards society. You must be clear about the boundaries of your own expertise, and you must communicate honestly and independently about the results of your work, including potential risks associated with it. You are committed to the ethical codes for research and design involving human subjects or animals. Yeah. With that, we finish this part. Now I would like to invite Roy van den Heuvel to tell you what happened after you get your degree.
Thanks, Lennon. Congratulations, all of you, with getting your master's degree. My name is Roy. I'm part of the Alumni Association IDEA, the Industrial Design Eindhoven Alumni Association. We used to, a year and a half ago, organize a lot of activities for our fellow alumni as a community, drinks, lectures, events, so we can get together and get to know each other even after our education. We're starting it back up again. Now most of the things are allowed again, so we hope to see you either offline at one of our activities as well as online at some of the things that we do, such as our LinkedIn page or the TUI alumni community, which I invite you to become a member of to keep up to date on what we do as fellow alumni. I hope to see you all at events like the Dutch Design Week, as well as perhaps here later at the faculty. So congratulations, and to close it off, we have a little movie, I think, to close it off. But congrats, and have a good day.
I'm Joep Elderman. Martijn Verburg.
Paul van Beek. I'm
Co-founder
co-founder
at Bureau Moeilijke Dingen. What we're trying to do is creating connected IoT proposals for other companies in a meaningful way. I make a lot of the connected probes that are part of our proposition. So these are either low energy data gathering probes or some probes that people have physical interactions with.
And I'm a full stack designer. As a full stack designer, you go all the way from the back end to the front end and maybe even more, and try to capture that in a fully working proof of concept, that you can then communicate to a technical team that has way more resources to go to a production environment.
What I like about being an interaction designer is that I really work for people, and that what you do really has impact on how people perceive your product or service or system or whatever. And not just make exactly what the client wants, but involve the user to get to a higher level.
Looking back at the studies, it really helped me in getting the right mindset. I really learned to break the endless analysis cycle through making and experimenting with prototypes.
It's very easy for an ID student to see the system in a holistic view, and then later on in the process zoom in and then really pay attention to the detail and make sure that the balances are right. And I think that's something that you don't see that often in other studies.
What I'm most proud of is that we were able to build a company from extending the things we liked at industrial design. Our visions on design were quite aligned, but there are still some differences, and I think that triggers really interesting discussions. For example, the future of AI, the future of IoT. It often also results in a new direction for ourselves, creates more valuable insights for all of us.
We are Bureau Moeilijke Dingen, industrial design alumni of the TU Eindhoven.
Okay, make sure that you sign up, register, and continue to connect with us, okay? Yeah, I'm here to announce the end of the ceremony and wait a little bit. So I would like to invite the audience, the friends and families, you are all welcome to go out from this side for drinks and and some food, while the graduates and their mentors take pictures, okay? So may I welcome all of you to first go out from that door. And I would like to ask all the graduates to, photographer, we need to go that way, okay.